Friends, please excuse some of the background noise. It's raining pretty bad here in Florida today. But I figured it'd be a good time to grab another one of these knives here that I haven't shown you yet. And this is a knife I got off of eBay right here. And it is a Case Mako shark. See that? You got that shark right there on the blade. Isn't that cool? And it kind of reminds me of a buck, you know, with the big brass bolsters, ebony wood handle, lock back down here at the heel, like that. What's cool about this one, it's got that big Case emblem. But if you look close, you know, you can see some tarnish on the brass. It's got some scratches there on the bolster. And it's also got this etching here on the blade, you know, where it was some kind of safety award. There's your Tang stamp, USA 58L, stainless steel, Case XX. And but other than that, you know, it's got a really cool shape. I think that's supposed to look like a shark fin, that exaggerated clip point. Got that real deep nail nick right there. You know, the blade has no wobble. It's nice and tight. It's actually, that lock back's a bit stiff, but here's the other problem. That blade is leaning way to the right, okay? You can see some more of that discoloration on the bolsters. So, we're going to dress this knife up, make it look a little better, make it a little better deal. But you know what? Before we do, if you could, just take a moment and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it to a few of your friends. That would really help the channel out. Alright, so back to the knife. This knife we got for 50 bucks on eBay. And I think the problems were one of the reasons why it was cheaper than the normal $200 you see this knife going for. But we're going to go ahead and lube it up with some of my One Angry Kid knife oil here. And make sure it's got plenty of lube in there. And we're going to wrap this blade with a rag because we're going to try to get that blade centered a little bit there. Alright, so I don't want to cut myself, so I'm going to wrap that because I'm going to put quite a bit of pressure on here while I rock it back and forth. But unfortunately, this one's a lock back, and I haven't really done that before. But that lock back makes it difficult to rock it right where I want to, you know? So I think I'm going to have to do something. Probably put a zip tie or something on that locking mechanism of that lock back, because it's not really, it's not really doing what I want it to do. So I'm going to go off camera here for a minute and put a zip tie on there and try to correct that. And before we do, let's just take a look at it here. No gaps. Okay, so that's not a problem. Look how nice and tight it is. Alright, so there's no defect there in the knife. And we look at these pins. Alright, now these pins, if they were in there crooked, if it was drilled crooked, you'd see a gap on one side, but that's not so. They look nice and flush. So the pin is perpendicular to the blade and the bolster, so that's not an issue. We make sure the blade was straight. And here we go. I took it off camera. I put a zip tie around that locking mechanism to hold it open. And I worked it just like I showed you in my previous video. And it's not perfect. It's still a little bit to the right. But it's a heck of a lot better. And this is going to be a user knife. So I'm not that worried about it. But we do want to make it look a little better. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take some Case paste and just clean up those bolsters a little bit. Now, if I really wanted to get serious on this knife, you've seen the jewelry buffer I have. I could get that out. I could get my polishing rouge and really go to town on this knife and make it look like brand new. But I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to get some of that tarnish off of here. Clean the knife up a little bit. That way I can get it oiled up. And it's something that I will be proud of to pull out of my pocket. But it's going to be in my pocket. It's going to get scratches on it again, you know. I'm not going to try to turn this into a showpiece. I just want to make it, look how dirty that rag gets quick. It's always amazing how quick it turns black. But anyway, like I said, I just want to get this thing to where it looks good enough that I can pull it out of my pocket and be proud of it. Knowing that it's going to get some scratches back in it. Alright, that looks a little better already. And like I said, we could sit here and just keep going with it until it got perfect. But that's about the level I want to take it to. Let's go ahead and get this other end. And we'll spend a little bit more effort on this case emblem. And that's not looking too bad now either. So, got that tarnish off of there. I think I'll do a little bit more here on the back spring. Get that cleaned up. And clean out the inside of the knife. But the next thing we got to do is we got to deal with this right here. I don't want that RSD Plant 208. I have no idea what that is, and I don't want it on the side of my blade. So I'm going to get that off, and I think I'm going to use my case eraser to get that off. But John, the case eraser is for carbon steel blades. I know it is, but I think it's going to work just fine here. So I'm going to try this coarse one, and let's see if it'll take this label off the blade. You know, that is always a pet peeve. I really don't like stuff like this on blades. I usually don't ever buy a knife that has any kind of etching on the blade. Yep, it is taking it off. It's just going to take a little elbow grease. But there we go. Look at that. Cleaned up pretty nice. Got some scratches in there because that's coarse. But you know what? That case eraser's got a fine one in there too. So let's get that fine one out and go over it. Alright. Now I should have only went perpendicular to the blade and not longitudinally to the blade, but this will get it out. But once again, I'm not worried about it being perfect. Let's just try to clean it up, and it could. So there we go. Got a little bit of dirt on there. Clean that off. But no more safety award stamping, huh? We're going to keep the shark on there because that shark is cool. That is one excuse. Now, what kind of vacuum is this? It is my shark vacuum. Alright. Pretty cool, huh? This thing works good. I got it at QVC for less than $100, and it's a really cool little vacuum. Alright, thank you Case Paste, thank you Case Eraser. You helped me make this Mako shark look better. Alright, so before we go to the cut test, let's break out a little bit more of my One Angry Kid knife oil. If you want some of this for yourself, you can get it at oneangrykid.com. All one word, oneangrykid.com. It's non-toxic, great protectant, great lubricant. All proceeds go to the purchase of giveaway knives on the channel. Alright, so got it oiled up. Check out that blade. Let's see how sharp it is. Let's just throw it on the hone here for a few swipes before we start trying to cut something. You know, this thing has been sitting around somewhere for a good 15 years or better, 16, 17 years, something like that. So I'm sure, even though it doesn't look like it's been used that much, I'm sure somebody opened letters and did some light cutting with it, because it's not perfectly new looking. But let's see how sharp it is. Alrighty. Always nervous with a case knife. That's not too bad. Not too bad. You know, it's not perfect. I can feel some drag in there. But you know what? It cuts. And I know about 30 minutes messing around with my stones, I can probably get this thing like a lightsaber. There is a little burr right there. I can feel it. I can feel it when I cut. It wants to drag right there. But what a cool knife, huh? Cool shaped blade. Got that hollow ground right there. Pretty cool, huh? You think it's supposed to look like a shark fin? I do. There's a Mako shark. Not bad looking. Cleaned up pretty good. $50 eBay knife. About 15 minutes of messing around, and I turned it into a little bit better one. What do you think? In your comments. Do you like the knife? Alright, hey, thanks for viewing, and stay safe out there.